The housing and construction industry shelters the public. It brings about roads, offices, schools, hospitals, and malls, to mention but a few. It is safe then to refer to the construction sector as a pillar of the economy. National Housing and Construction Company Limited, NHCCL, is the premier developer of housing in Uganda, with a mandate to rehabilitate the housing industry and encourage Ugandans to own homes in an organized environment. The 58-year-old state enterprise has been at the forefront of delivering organized settlement in Uganda, not only in the residential domain, but also in commercial, industrial, and institutional domains. In the past, the company has also undertaken a variety of major construction projects.
We are happy when we see our customers in the various locations of Bugolobi, Ntinda, Chiwatle, Lubowa, in the municipalities, in the cities, when they are living decently and they are happy. We count that a major milestone. We also look forward to serving the greater population that is very demanding for affordable houses. But we've also done outside Kampala a number of projects, all the Boma grounds in the municipalities and the urban establishments. Some of them have since developed into cities, Mbarara, Mbale, Koboko, Lira, Soroti. Wherever you go, you'll find a footprint of national housing.
Currently, National Housing and Construction Company boasts of quality residential properties of Jasmine Apartments, Naalya, Rizi View Apartments, Mbarara, and Impala Estates, Namungona. National Housing was awarded Best Government Property of the year 2022. According to Uganda Bureau of Statistics, the opportunity for housing in Uganda is growing by 300,000 annually, going by a total population of 40 million people, growing at 3% per annum, with a household size of 4.7. According to the CEO, Engineer Kenneth Kaijuka, the traditional models of developing housing, where the developer incurs 100% of the risk in the provision of resources across the supply and value chain, including land, design, materials, financing, etc., is dated and unprofitable. Sustainable growth of the industry opportunity for housing lies in collaborative partnerships that are achieved through allocation of core capabilities to the respective experts in the housing and construction value chain to improve competitive advantage and profitability, an approach that will divest risk, enhance value addition, and make development finance affordable, given the multiplicity of participation and contribution.
These relationships, we've crafted them, we've signed them off, and we think they'll give us a greater leverage into delivery, timely delivery on the mandate, which is ensuring that we provide decent housing, both in the residential and the commercial and other subsectors.
We had to look at what we can do without changing the spectrum, but enabling access to housing. In this case, we had to put in many options in which customers can be able to access our houses. One of them is phased payment, and in the phased payment, we encourage our customers, after we have done initial market sounding, that is when we are going to develop a project, we make it known to the market, we tell the market the product offering or the project offering, we walk with them the journey and what are the requirements, the project development times, the cost of development, but also the selling prices, and when they can be able to access the houses. We allow them to pay 20% of the purchase price on deposit. As we develop, we encourage them to deposit further, and when we are at share level, at least we need to see between 40 to 60% of the purchase being deposited. But as we go along and we conclude the project, at least we need to be seeing a substantial sum of money deposited. However, we elongate our offer time to beyond 3 years, but within 5 years. That allows customers to be able to access funding for them to be able to access housing. We introduced in what we call the rent-to-own. And with our rent-to-own, we encourage customers to deposit a substantial sum of money on the purchase price, but also avoid them having excess funds or excess payments in rent elsewhere. So in this case, they are allowed to access the housing or the house they are paying for and pay along as they are staying in their houses. This way, we reduce their rent costs by more than half, but walk the journey, establish a relationship as they access or further fully pay their apartment. But on top of that, we have our residential packages, and these residential packages for people who are not in well-developed dwelling areas, we encourage them to come to our secure estates, but be paying on a monthly rate rent. And what we have seen is with that innovation, most of them have ended up actually being buyers. They come in after seeing the advantages of living in an organized environment, well-secured environment. They end up being our customers on the purchase side. But also for customers who are astute and know much about housing, we introduced in what we call the staggered payment method. And in the staggered pricing, before we start the units or before we break ground, we ask customers to pay a certain sum of money. This way, they fund their development and we avoid accessing debts, but develop for them at an appropriate speed, but also within affordable costs. The staggered pricing allows discounts, and this discount is our money that we should be using as an institution. The cost of money is taken out. If it was debt, the cost of debt is taken out because you are using the client money. This way you get between 10 to 15% discount after having worked with us.
It's a pleasure speaking to our stakeholders, to our partners, those our shareholders, to give confidence that National Housing has rolled back on board. We look forward to be the key player